Okay, hello, everyone. Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Hello. Oh, yeah. What a day today has been. I've done one thing. I'm going to tell you something. I've had an amazing day. Hello, Joe. Hello, Claire with no I. Hello, Claire with an I. Hello, Joodles. Hello, Darklands. Hello, Marianne, all the way from the United States of America. I wish I. Whatever. I'm not saying that. It's. I know what Peekskill is like. It's lovely. It's cold. It's not super cold, but this is a cold time of year in January. It's cold here. It's cold here. There we go. So welcome to Lewis Schaffer Uncooked. I had a day today, so I'm completely out of it. You are going to have to help me today. I'm not tired. I'm a little tired, but I'm not. I'm a little bit exhausted, but not completely exhausted. What happened was I did my taxes. Let me rephrase that. My son and I did my taxes. We sat right here in Lewis Schaffer Studio number 2, and we did my taxes. And whether it's going to turn out okay, I don't know. You just send it out there into the world. I don't understand half of the things that they asked me. My son didn't understand a third of the things that they asked. And so we put numbers down, and I filled out the taxes, and I owe them some money. Luckily, they say, supposedly, there's actually money there. Kate Gwynn is here. Look at this. Ulrich is here. Hello, Kate. There's Ulrich. Say hello to Ulrich. Say hello to Ulrich. So I filled in my taxes for last year. I mean, even though I am a rebel, but I still filled in my taxes, and I hope it's going to be okay. I hope they don't get mad at me. You know, you don't know. You don't know what they're doing. You don't know if they're mad at me. All I know is I saw that there was like money in my account that I had supposedly paid. Are you doing an impression of a sheep? Nice top. Maybe it's too white. Do you think it's too white? Do I look bad in this? I found this. I don't know where I found it. Whether I found it, someone had thrown it out. It's not something that I made. It's by H&M. I think it's my size. Does it look bad? Should I take it off? Anyway, Streaky Bacon is here. You were looking in rude health and finally t-shirted. Yes, this is, I don't even know if this is wool or if this is cotton. I think it's cotton. It's by H&M. I am in good shape. I woke up this morning and I weigh 76.1 kilograms. I haven't been focusing on being fat. I've got one day to find 10,500. Oh my God. That could be really bad news. Yeah, well, you're not going to borrow it from me. I don't have it. But I wouldn't give it to you anyway. But I might. Probably I wouldn't. Thank you very much, John Van Dam. 17 people liking it. 18. Let's like the thing. Let's like the stream. Anyway, I weigh 76.1 kilograms, which is brilliant. Because my goal is to be 75 kilograms. So I'm approaching how much I want to weigh. Thank you, Claire, for saying I look amazing. Shortell is here. Also beautiful Shortell. Lewis, don't try and swindle the HMRC. They will find you. No, I'm not swindling them. Every bit of money that gets sent in, I account for. And that, I account for it. I don't swindle it. I'm a guest in this country. Maybe that's the difference. When I moved to this country, they said you cannot claim benefits. And I actually believed them. I'm getting benefits now. I've been here for 25 years. But, so you're right. Thank you very much. Do not claim benefits. Don't claim benefits. So Chartel is here. Claire is here. She says, I look amazing. Joe says, I look amazing. It's really important to me. Where's Joodles coming in saying, Lewis, you are so beautiful? Have you ever heard Joodles say any nice things about me? She never does. She never does. Should people cheat to get thin? I've been offered a jab. Paul Yoward. I don't think so. I'm going to tell you why. Because I think you can't trust the medical society. There's always side effects. And you wake up one day, they say, it's all those people who took thalidomide, to mention that. I don't know if I mentioned. In the USA, the people generally pay less income tax than they do here. I think it depends what state you're in. Some states, like New York State, whoops, I think I scratched my head. Like New York State, Kate Gwynn, they could pay maybe the same. It's too much. I think it's similar. It could be less in America. I don't think so. I don't know. Let's ask. We should ask that. That should be the question today, because this is tax day. Have you all paid your taxes? That's the question. Lewis must admit you are lush. Okay, I don't even know what that means. Lush. A lush in America is a drunk. Lush means like a forest, is very fertile and moist. Stuart is here. Don't Jews like clipping coins? What is it? What do you mean, to take a gold coin and to cut the edges off of it? Or can you do that with a 50-piece coin for the metal? For the metal. Now there you're all talking about me. And we should ask that. Do Americans? Let's see what Google says about this. Not that we can trust Google, but let's see what Google says about it. Do Americans pay more tax than the UK on average? Let's say it's on average. Let's just see what that says. Okay, we're gonna look at that. Are you prepared to look at that? It says, on average, the UK has a higher overall tax burden and higher income tax rates for many earners compared to the US. But the US system is complex with federal, state, and local taxes, meaning some low earners in high-tax US states might pay relatively more than the UK. Meaning more low. It says on average the UK has a higher overall tax burden and higher income tax rates for many earners compared to the US. But the US has higher progressive state and local taxes and a significant some low added tax in high tax US states might pay relatively more than the UK. While the US has lower federal more low. It says on average the UK has a higher overall tax burden and higher income tax rates for many earners compared to the US. But the US has higher progressive state and local taxes and a significant some. Thank you. Okay. I appreciate that, Joodles. Joodles doesn't. She never says, "Wow, Lewis, you're so hot." Have you ever heard her say that? But she is very helpful, and she is lovely, So that is the essence here. Let's look here. How do we compare internationally? The UK tax revenue as a percent of national income in 2016, 33% in the UK versus 26%. This is 2018. So it's lower in America than it is in the UK. Does anybody have any specific information about this? Anyone? Can you hear me? Can you hear? North is here. Are other people getting echo? Yeah. The problem is I can't turn it off until the show starts, and by then I forget. I forget what that is. Anyway, so I met Lewis once at the UTK march last September. Best day ever. Yeah, to hang out with Lewis Schaffer. He was amazing. Oh, that's me. Lewis. For pay, you just have to deduct $12,570 and do the 20% thing to get the deduction. Different for self-employed. I guess it is. I mean, this is the first time I've actually paid my taxes here. I used to have an accountant, And she was not, I felt I needed to change. Shortell, me and my friend Leanne. Remember Leanne? From this chat, both got a hug. Both got a hug. And the surprising thing about me is I'm like 3 or 5 inches taller than you expect me to be. I'm a giant of a man. No echo. Thank you, Kate Quinn. Thank you, Kate Quinn. I wouldn't mind my high tax bill if I could see something for it. Well, that's the problem, you know. And the thing about taxes is they're always trying to take a little tax here, a little tax there, a little tax somewhere else. And if voting actually mattered in this country, and they listened to the people of this country, Martin Lewis, the money man, would tell you in a heartbeat most likely U.S. versus U.K. standard of living. Martin Lewis, the money man, would tell you in a heart. Well, that's Claire without an I. Yeah, probably. What does it have to do with what we're talking about now? I pay 22% tax taken at the source, and I get a rebate every year. Self-employed mainly, though unemployed now, says Streaky Bacon. Okay. Well, 22% is not. I mean, everybody complains about taxes. You can't think about it. I was so nervous because I didn't do it. I wait till and then tomorrow I'm filming. I'm not going to be here tomorrow early. We probably will have a late show tomorrow. And when I say late, I mean one late show, which is maybe an 8 o'clock or 8:30 show tomorrow. True. The Financial Times did a bit on this. Outside of London, we are a third world nation. I did read that, North. A third world nation. The whole wealth of the country is generated here in London. That's why Sadiq Khan, is that the guy, is walking around like he's a big man because how did he get appointed the mayor of London? I don't know. How big? I am 6'3.5" tall and weigh 15 stone. And both of those numbers are lies. They're both lies. I'm sorry, Claire. I just lied. I just lied to you. I'm not that tall. I'm 5'10" tall. So I'm like average height. But I'm getting thinner and thinner. My head is getting bigger and bigger. And it's just not quite as good. I wouldn't mind okay. Girl from Mars is here. Hello, girl from Mars. And she says, I am lovely. Hello, wonderful chat. UK is very high national insurance needs, plus sales tax too. Yeah, there's VAT, and then there's the national insurance, and then there's all this council tax, and then what are the main taxes? If you buy a house, you got to pay whatever the different rates. The shops have rates, which makes things way more expensive to buy stuff here than in America, I believe, Lewis. I'm a great accountant. Not professional, but for my mates, as I worked in financial services for most of my working life. Okay, well, Joe, there's always a hope for that to happen. We'll see what happens this year. I am going to be a better person. I've got all the things to count. Don't we all have things? Don't we have to keep better track of our things? He got appointed because of his skin. Yeah, because he followed, not just because of his skin, because he followed the rules. They all look like that now. It's not that he was rare, It's not that he was rare. I moved from Southwest to back up Northwest for family, says North. Now, wow, the difference is shocking. You're in the Northwest. Where in the Northwest are you? I actually enjoy the Northwest, though the weather is horrific, or it can be horrific. I think the Northeast, the weather is better in the Northeast. Would you agree with that? I'm not even sure about that. Is the weather nicer? Well, where in the Northwest are you? What is a buzzball? What's a buzzball? Buzzball are those things, those Lancashire. Okay. Like, is Preston, that's Lancashire. Is Blackpool Lancashire? Is that area like, did that used to be like Manchester? Or Manchester used to be Lancashire, North? I've been all over the country. I haven't been anywhere lately. I've been like locked in this place. I'm going to be places. You're going to come and see me. Paul Yoward and I are, we're going to do a show up in Banbury on April 27th. And it's going to be similar to the show that I have done in the past. When I went on tour, on my great tour that I did. No, Northeast is worse, especially Durham and Newcastle. I'm talking about the weather, Chartel. The weather. I don't think the weather is that bad in Newcastle, because most of the weather gets dumped. It gets dumped in those places there. When I lived in Liverpool, Paul Yoward, it rained every day at about 5 p.m., but I wasn't there in the summer. Yeah. Well, it's like here. It's like raining and miserable here. I got a pair of shoes that I wear. It's just covered in mud. Vatanai is here. Energy bills are a form of tax. All the other things we have to buy are a form of taxation, as businesses have to pay more tax themselves and pass it on to us. That's true. Well, how is energy bills a form of tax? Because we don't have an independent energy control. Is that what it is? How does that work, Vatanai? Yeah, Manchester and Liverpool were both Lancashire before they got too big of an attitude. Laugh out loud. Okay, I did not know that. I mean, I did know that. I just said that. How did I just say I did not know that? But I wasn't sure about that. Lewis, you always used to say, where are you from and are you fat? And I do ask that often. Yes, Claire, I'm going to ask that all the time. Yes, weather is bad in the Northeast. I know it's bad, but I think it does not rain as much in Newcastle as it does across the hills, whatever city is across the hills. Judel says, decided last night to buy myself a new TV. Don't, then you'll have to pay the tax on it. Website crashed after inputting payment details, and I checked for order confirmation but didn't get one. A few hours later, I tried again. It went through. Okay, well, congratulations. Judels has bought herself a television. You'll be the last person in this country to own a TV. I mean, you have to watch a big TV because you have football on the brain, Judels. Chartel is giving Vatanai a rose and a heart and a wave. Chartel, I'm sure there are other non-edible types, though. Lewis, have you ever been to lovely Portsmouth? I have been to lovely Portsmouth. I have been all over, and I've been to the rain in every single place in this country. Claire's from Luton and 28 stone. Okay, I don't believe, you can't be 28 stone. That's too much for a girl to be. Let's lose weight. Let's everybody get thin. Look at how thin and skinny and mealy I am. I'm horrible. I am horrible, Claire. What are you going to do to lose weight, Claire? Unreal, Cuffy. Just call me 4TV Judels. Why do you have so many TVs? It's unnecessary. Give the money to me, Lewis Schaffer. Everybody give money to me, but before you give the money to me, make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you like and subscribe. Enjoy energy bills, including the energy bills include the payments to wind and solar companies for the electricity they generate, but can't be connected to the grid. Ask Miliband. He fixed it like that. So if like the company is like, it's a tax for fake climate change stuff. Is that what you're saying, Vatanai? That's interesting. We have the Pennines that cause the rain to drop before it goes from the Atlantic flow to the east. That's exactly what I'm saying, North. The Pennines, it stops the rain. Let's just do this. We're going to look here. Get ready for this, people, everybody. Get ready. Newcastle on Tyne rainfall Annual. Okay, we're going to look here. Annual. I'm spelling that wrong. And let's say 612 millimeters per year. And what city is across from Newcastle? What city is on the same latitude as Newcastle? Okay. Newcastle. Not longitude. It's longitude. Longitude as Newcastle. As Newcastle. Let's see what it is here. Okay, what is up there? Let's go look up there. Wait, is that what is the longitude, or is it latitude? What city is the same latitude as Newcastle? Okay, we're checking here. Let me just check here. Can you see what we're checking on? Carlisle. Okay, Carlisle. Ready for Carlisle. Rainfall in Carlisle. How do you spell Carlisle? Carlisle. UK. Annual. Okay, let's see what it says. It doesn't say annual rainfall. It doesn't say. Why doesn't it say? I'm trying to get a map here. Where is the maps? This is really getting on my case. Newcastle upon Lyme. Map. Are you paying attention, everyone? This thing, I've lost the audience here. I apologize. Okay. So that's here. That's here. What's across? What's across? Over the hills. Over the hills. Over the hills. Over the hills. Carlisle Castle. Why is there no rainfall amounts? Carlisle. What's another big city? I'm going to just say Preston. What is that down there? Preston. I love this area over here. It's fantastic. This is the rainiest part over here. This area over here is rainy. Rainy, rainy, rainy. There's Glasgow. There's Glasgow. Where is the biggest? There's no cities over here. Leeds. Okay, we'll say Leeds. Blackpool. We'll do Blackpool. We'll do Blackpool. Annual rainfall in I don't know if you guys are still there. Blackpool, UK. Oh, God. Okay, it's way more rainy in Blackpool. It's 200, it's like 30% more rain at least. Okay, we're back on track. I apologize for this. Cardiff is officially in a rain shadow as it drops on Swansea and Port Talbot. Cardiff, we're talking about Cardiff. What about, did you guys find the answer? Jesus, he's annoying. One question to all would have solved this. Yes, if I could trust you guys to come up with answers. If I could trust you to, but I can't trust you. I should, and I wanted to check myself. I should have trusted you. I didn't trust you. I'm sorry. So it rains 850 inches in Blackpool, and it rains 600 something inches in Newcastle. So it rains much less in Newcastle. Cardiff is the rainiest city in the UK with an average of 1,152 millimeters of rainfall, says Kermit. followed closely behind Glasgow and Huddersfield. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. It's rainy. That's where it's rainy. I could draw a map of where it's rainy. It's rainy throughout the entire country, but the least rainy places are on the East Coast. London could be considered a least rainy place if that's possible. Down south, like where Claire with the eye lives, it's less rainy, even though it's unbelievably rainy down there. So it is a rainy. Lewis, you will never lose this audience. Consider us your rock bottom. I don't believe that. I think, I don't believe that. I don't, but I thank you very much for saying that. About 15 years ago, we had a landlady threaten to call the cops as we were effed to leave the B&B, and the pubs were so varied, and the shops Streaky Bacon was talking about. The landlady threatened to call the cops as we were effed to leave the B&B, and the pubs were so varied. I don't know what that's in reference to. I get that. WRU are screwing it all. So I hear anyway. I'm looking forward to England. World Rugby? Is that what you're talking about? Judels likes that stuff. She's like all into that. She's a tough cookie. I've been to the Millennium Stadium for rugby. Was a friendly, but still good. I've seen when I'm there. Rugby people are much nicer. Are much nicer people than I don't know if they're nicer, but they don't get into so much violence. The violence as the football players do, as the association football players do. Thank you, Chartel. Thank you. This is what I need. I love the appreciation, whether you mean it or not. I love it. Yes, it's Glamorgan's home and lots of T20 and ODIs. You basically got into talking about rugby, Lewis. He is talking about lovely Portsmouth, where I still live. I mean, it's probably, you know what it is? There are lots of interesting places in this country. There's no place that's just like absolutely horrible. Well, let me rephrase that. There were no places that were absolutely horrible. There are places now, I think, they're absolutely horrible. We brought legal ease there, says Streaky Bacon, and they were stronger than the illegal ones we had. How many years ago was this? Didn't they change those rules? Whatever. I'm from Manchester. I could tell you AI is the least of the GMP's problems. Actually, intelligence is lacking. Okay, what is GM? Oh, Greater Metropolitan Police. I'm learning everything about this place. Claire, it's raining a lot this year in Eastbourne. It's not usually this bad. Yeah, but it does rain. That's the thing. It does rain, and it's so muddy, and because I go out every single day to pick up rubbish because I'm a great guy and I care about my Britain, your Britain. And the ground is really, really wet. I found a pair of gloves today, a very heavy pair of nice gloves. And they're in the washing machine getting ready to be washed. Rugby match these days in Cardiff were friendly with rival team fans mixing in the city centre before and after. Yes, I've never been to a rugby game. I've seen it played on Peckham Rye Park, but I've never been to a rugby game. Chartel, I am not a rain person, Claire. I want the sun all year round. Well, this is the wrong country for that. And then sells the rubbish. Yeah, I pick up the rubbish and I sell it. Is that you're talking about me, Streaky Bacon? I pick up rubbish and try to sell it. I've sold only one thing. I sold the this trainers, but I haven't sold much over the last week or so. Let's hear it for Lewis. He brings all the rubbish home. Thank you, Paul. Thank you very, very much. I bring home rubbish. It's not rubbish to you because you might buy it, or maybe it is rubbish to you. Non-stick Nick is here. I pick up rubbish. Often find antique rubbish too, yes, and someone will buy it. and someone will buy it. Like, and maybe it doesn't work. Like what I bought yesterday, it didn't work. But what worked yesterday? I mean, I found last week. I found the air dryer. I'm cooking a chicken now in the stove, a real chicken. And I don't even know why, because you guys suggested I cook a chicken in the air fryer. And I said, you know what, I'm going to cook a chicken in the oven. Spain is giving free citizenship to. I might take them up on it. Is that true? Is that true, Paul Yoward? Lewis is a womble. What is, okay, London man, I'm a womble. What is a womble? That's from, what is that? That's from an old British TV show, a womble. That's somebody who picks stuff up, rubbish on the street. I don't pick up only the good stuff. I pick up paper and cans and tissue paper. I pick it up with my bare hands. I'm dirty. I'm a dirty, dirty man. I want you to know that about me. When you see me, you'll sniff me. You'll say, is he clean? People are clean because their skin comes off of them. It's like a protective thing. At least Wombles turned it into something new. No, I turned it into something old. You want a pair of shoes? I found a pair of shoes. Good for you, Lewis. A bit of chicken, lovely. Yes, MC Scott, thank you very much. Chicken is good. Chicken, I mean, is it good? It's £6.95 for a chicken. Is that cheap? That struck me as being a bit cheap. It was a big 1.7 kilogram chicken. Today I found a cool little porcelain bird that's wearing a woolly hat, Nonstick Nick. Yes. Yes. Let's find stuff. Lewis, what did you decide to do with the coffee maker from yesterday? I haven't decided yet. What should I do with it, Kate Quinn? What do you think I should do with it? This morning, Lewis, Dolly Bannister, who's in Laos. I saw finish your tweet. I saw finish your tweet. I'm my time going to clean bed. This morning, Lewis, I saw your tweet. In my time, I don't know, say that again, Dolly Bannister. People can clean their hands, overheat, hide close to fire. So what? You don't need to clean your hands, honestly, because if something's dry, it's probably dead. The things that make people sick are schmutz, are actual stuff. One little speck of an animal is not going to make you sick. Making good use of the things we find, things that our everyday folk leave behind. Is that the Womble theme song, Lewis? Cute show about very cute furry animals called Wombles who care about litter. We love them, yeah, because in the 1960s, it was all about litter. Do you remember that, people? Each stream is like an episode of Bagpuss. I've heard of Bagpuss, but I don't know what that is. What is Bagpuss, Mr. Cuff? Is in the 1960s, everybody was talking about litter. And I think the reason they were talking about litter is because they invented plastic wrapping and aluminum cans and all that stuff, and people were littering. I think I should chuck it. Yeah, I should chuck it. I'm going to chuck it. I opened it up. I'm not going to be able to fix it. I'm going to have to chuck it. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Kate. Kermit says this. We're so incredibly, utterly devious, making the most of everything. Even bottles and tins. Pick up the pieces and make them into something new is what we do. This is what the Wombles do. Yeah, it's teaching people. You know what it is? Like I used to, when I was with my son and we were walking in the street, and my son saw a can, and he would kick the can down the road. And I would tell him, now you got to pick the can up because it looks like your can, that you just dumped your can, so you got to pick it up. I'll try again. His Banbury gig it's on April 27th. April 27th. Joodles. April 27th in Banbury. Paul will give us the information. And we're working on the price of how much it's going to be. I don't think the price, we're charging enough money, and I don't think I'm getting enough money. So we're going to have to work on everything to make it so it just packs it in. I'm selling a house in Granada. That's right, Claire. Claire has said she's selling a house in Granada. Is it sunny in Granada? Does it rain where you are? Or is it deserty? Vat and I hated the Wombles. Hated it. I think they are gay. Could be gay. Because was it a BBC program? I'm super pleasant chopped liver today. I'm super pleasant chopped liver today, Streaky. Yeah, Joodles, she's chopped liver. Chopped liver is, it's not considered to be a gourmet food unless you, what are the pate, unless you want to call it pate. That's considered fancy. Why don't you work for the council, get paid for rubbish picking? Because I want people to see that I'm a great guy, not that I have a job. I wish he did have a marvelous mechanical mouse organ. I wish he did. What is that from? Joe comes in and says, oh my God, Bagpuss. Remember Bagpuss? Not gay, but cute and caring. And caring. Botanite says Bagpuss was okay. I don't remember. What was great about Bagpuss? Lewis, it can be rainy, but not for long, around 300 days of sunshine. So there you go. What is the big town near there? I'll Google it up. Lewis is Professor Yaffil. Oh, now I have to look. Who is Professor Yaffil? Julian, let's look that up. Sorry, we got to look it up. I have to see what that looks like. Professor Yaffil from Bagpuss. And here's an image. What about this guy? Images. Who is this? This looks like it's made out of wood. I don't wear glasses anymore. Who is this guy? Who is Professor Yaffil? Julian. No gig. No, gig is last Friday of the month. Lewis has just agreed, so post for soon. 24th Friday. Okay, 24th Friday. You're going to have to constantly remind me to make sure I show up. No, you don't. But 24th Friday. So it's a Friday. Where is Banbury? A lot of people don't know where Banbury is. 70s kids TV was beautiful compared to the animated stuff. Yes. Now it's not even animated. It's all AI. It's all AI. Joodles is Madeline. Okay. Was she a character? Is that the other one? It says Yaffil. Mice are from Bagpuss. It was a warm feeling of a show. Professor Yaffil, a woodpecker. Yaffil is the name for a woodpecker. So he was I don't see myself as a woodpecker as a person, but maybe. I've never been that way. Why a woodpecker? I don't know who that is, Streaky. How offended should I be? Yes, that's true, Joodles. You got to ask to make sure we're going to be offended or not. I like just being equated with someone. I like someone thinking about me. I'm an attention seeker. Bagpuss loved it. Madeline was the old rag doll. Madeline, says Darklands. This must have been a very big show. You all know it. He was very eminent and thought he knew everything. Laugh out loud. Are you talking to me, Kermit? Like I think I know everything. The things that I know, I really believe I know. The things I don't know, I'll say, let me look that up. Let me look that up. Lewis, weird animals in a toy shop. Welcome to our childhood TV. Yeah, it's I like talking about this, even though I don't know anything about it, because I think it brings you guys warmth and happiness and diversion. Claire, Oxfordshire's in Banbury. Banbury is near Oxford. Banbury is a very good night for the lash. Why is it a good night? I think about you, Lewis, a lot. Thank you, Claire. Thank you. Paul Yatwood says, I will constantly remind you, don't worry. And these good people, Banbury is just 1 hour. They're not London people. Nobody lives in London. How would you get there from Manchester? How about from Cardiff? How about from Where do you guys live? From Portsmouth or Eastbourne or Lincoln? You know, Nagoya was just before my time. Nagoya's. Okay. I'm a Wurzel Grummage. Turn my head around in seconds, says Claire without an eye. What is a Wurzel Grummage? Everybody, send me a link and I'll look up a picture of it. Or should I look it up? Banbury, north of Oxford, from London, from Marylebone, via Bicester. And you see how I pronounce that, Vatanai? I think it's close to you. How close to you is that, Vatanai? Isn't there a lady on the White Horse in Banbury Cross? That's in a store. I saw that. Yeah, there is something like that. We saw a guy being taken down and arrested. The last time I was in Banbury, my friend had a boat there in Banbury. So I'm gonna ask my friend to be there. My friends to be there if they're still there. In the UK in the 19th, he doesn't believe that I'm a right wing Nazi. He thinks I'm, thermals today. Lud, it's cold. What about thermals today, Lud? Where does that come from? In the UK, there were so few channels, everybody watched the same stuff. That's true. That's everybody's childhood was like that. And then we all have something in common. So there you go. There was a ukulele playing Frog and Blackpuss. Yeah. Joodles asked Nagoya, how the AF was that in autocorrect for Bagpuss? Okay, I'm glad I read it. Because you got to make sure you read everything. You know everything that's going on. The 1970s kids programmings were made by acid casualties from the 1960s. Okay, I could believe that. Spoons stays open in Banbury till 1 p.m. Like that's in the middle of the night. But do they serve food? When is the last food? I'm only interested in the food. Joodles goes evening, my Lud. They are very close to each other, Lud and Joodles. I am very envious and jealous. What is the word? Jealous or envious? How about a Spoon family from Button Moon? A Spoon family from Button Moon. Remember when people used to remember all the Spoon people in London? The Pearly Kings. You remember? Not Spoon. They're not Spoon. They're Buttons. I mistook Buttons for Spoons. It's really good. When I lived near Oxford, I went to Banbury from time to time on the train, a long way from Somerset, and I can attest to that. Somerset, Cornwall, Devon. You think it's very close to London. It's like going up to Newcastle. It's probably the same distance up to Newcastle. So Vat and I hope you can make it. Maltese Phil is here. What's up? We're talking about 1970s kids show. So that's what we're up to. Do you remember any of those? You're too young, I think. I think you're 50, so you might not remember those. 70s kids shows didn't mind having quiet moments of silence, unlike today's earaches. Have you been watching? Oh, you've got kids shows that you watch because you've got that kid. I never watched the TV shows with my kids. I was always out and about. I never plopped them in front of the TV thing. And then you know what happens. My friend, I'm not going to mention her name, she would put her kids in front of the TV. She had 4 kids, and I said, don't do that. It's bad. And then as the kids got older, they got bored with the TV, and they didn't want to watch it. Kermit says, Finger Bobs, Bagpuss, Warzum Grummage, Barnaby Bear, Pipkins, the Pipkins, Charlton, and the Wheelies. These, I guess, were shows. Emma Thompson's dad made Magic Roundabout. It was originally in French, but he did not translate. He just made stuff up. Magic Roundabout. I did not know. I met Emma Thompson. I didn't meet her. I was in a film with her, but I didn't meet her. I remember Pearly Kings and Queens of London. Yes, remember all the Pearly. They wore the buttons. Banbury from Cardiff or Southwest, get to Didcot, and then change for Oxford. That's right. You got to go to Didcot. Is it called Didcot or is it called Didcot Parkway? What is the difference between Didcot and Didcot Parkway? Maltese Phil is mentioning Ivor the engine. What about the wooden tops? What about Camberwick Green? Girl from Mars mentions. I never heard of any of these stuffs. Can't do with Button Moon. Rosie and whatever, says Paul Yoward. Pipkin was where it was at and Trumpton. Never heard of any of that stuff. Trumpton was my favorite, says Mr. Cuff. He's talking to a girl from Mars. And of course, Joodles is talking to Led. HR Puff and Stuff. HR Puff and Stuff. I heard of that in America. I never saw that. Bob. Yes, Pugwash. You know everything, Kermit. Pugwash, rhubarb and custard, magic roundabout. UK video clips is coming in late to our discussion. You can add maybe some shows. We're talking about shows from the 1970s and 80s maybe for the young people. Mr. Cuff, Charlton, and the Wheelies. Naughty was my favorite. Yes, I used to read the Naughty books to my kids. Were you all born too early for Thundercats? I remember Thundercats when I was a kid. That was the absolute pinnacle of kids' TV. Pipkin was scary, says UK Video Clips. Claire liked Thumpton, I guess. Do people recall the Ludwig scary egg thing? I adored rhubarb and custard. Was that a show or is that a food, Claire? Camberwick Green, Trumpton, and Chigley were all set in the same world. I get confused between them now. Maybe we should take a vote, a poll. What's your favorite one? And maybe that's how we could become famous. We could take a poll and we could say, Lost Britain or Britain's Past or good memories. And we could say which ones are the favorite ones. I remember Thundercats, Claire. Claire remembers that. 1974. Is that the year you were born, Claire? So young. Not animation, but Mike Reed's Runaround was my favorite. I'll be back in a second. I got the chicken in. I got to just take the chicken in at the oven. I may miss some of this, but to keep on going. I might be overcooking it. I might be overcooking the chicken. I think people are listening to this in the background, and that was too much silence. There you go. Dan Wooten's been, has he? No, he hasn't been. He hasn't been. Has he been? No, no. I don't think he's been arrested. Where did that come from? No, he hasn't been. He hasn't been. I just checked. Not Dan. His guest. His guest. What did his guest say? Saturday morning TV back in the day had all the cartoons. What? Who? His guest has been arrested. Ron Smith. Hello, Ron. His guest has been arrested. His guest. I'll swap you for what guest? Who is his guest? Let me try to find his guest. Not in the news. No, it doesn't say. It doesn't say anything. I can't see it. I don't see anything like that. I used to work in Didcot Power Station for station 20 years ago, says Streaky Bacon. Was it the? There's no mention of this. There's no mention of this. There's no mention of this. Has Dan been? He has not been. According to Google, there's not a single mention of that. So, must have been a very specific theft. There's barely any sobs left. I don't know what that's in reference to. Someone called Montgomery. Montgomery. Okay, let's look for the name Montgomery. Nope, nothing here. Nope, 2 hours. Live horror. They arrested a free speech star. So this is a stream. This is a stream. There you go, live. What does that mean? He has 622,000 subscribers. That's nothing. I've got 47 million. 47 million. I mean, he's doing an amazing job. Still can't, he can shave. Why can't he shave? He lives right near me. He lives near me. He knows my kid. He knows my kid. All right, let's get back on track. This is basically deteriorated. I had to put the chicken. I know you're probably not interested in this, but I had to put the chicken. The chicken, part of it looked good, but part of it didn't look like it was quite cooked enough. So I put it in the oven. The sob story is a crazy one. They were far too well built, which is why they went under. Um, could possibly. They were really brilliant. They were brilliant cars. I watched from the field Radiohead used to do magic mushrooms in the cooling towers. going down. I watched from the field that Radiohead. Can we put some punctuation here? The Radiohead used to do magic mushrooms. Maybe whatchamacall that brackets. You watch the cooling tower. Yeah. You need a comment there. Comma there. You need a meat thermometer, Lewis. Did you mean that as a joke, Joodles? I probably do need a meat thermometer. I don't want to overcook it. Overcook it. But I guess I put it. It's still in the pan, and in the pan, it's got like an inch of fluid. So why is there so much water in there? I guess that's how they save money by soaking it in water. I bought one for 15 pounds, and I love it, a meat thermometer. I usually don't cook food. This is the first bit of cooking in an oven that I've done in 5 years, probably. Mother had a Saab 99 when I was a kid. Is a Saab 99? That's the one that my friend had, my ex-friend. These are all ex-friends of mine. She had a without the roof. Without the roof, a Saab. The only cooling towers I watched demolish were brought down by Fred Dibner. Yeah, he brought down a lot. He supposedly cared about old things, and he's bringing down, all the cooling towers. Horrible. But they weren't cooling towers. They were smokestacks. A cooling tower is different than a smokestack. From Cott Hill School near Abington, where you could watch the steam rising up. As a rail fan, I loved watching the coal trains. The destruction of Didcot Power Station was a crime. What does that look like, Didcot Power Station? Let's see what that looks like. Let's see what Didcot Power Station. Images. See, these are cooling towers, and the power station is different. What happened with Didcot? Did it explode? I watched a documentary, Judel says, about Saab guy who refused to use cheaper materials for the cars. So they sacked him, and he used the cheap stuff anyway, and it was the end of them. Probably it's true. Lilith is here. Yeah, that's possibly true. Saab. I mean, when did Saab start dying? They've been about 20 years ago or something. And then they were bought by the Chinese. My Saab 900 automatic 3-door was great in low pressure, was great, period. Paul, you don't use the punctuation, you're going to get me angry at you. Was great, period. Period. A low pressure turbo, period. I outpaced a Maserati in a race, period. We had driving through mid Wales. I had a Saab 9000 too, and the 900. I drove down the whole of Scandinavia. Period. Thank you, Paul, for that information. There was a Saab 99 and a Saab 900. There was another that is a mixture between the two. I don't know. Let's take a look at what a Saab looks like. Let's take a look at that, everybody. You ready for that? Are you ready for that, Saab? Saab. Let's see what the images are. Yeah, look at them. Look at them. I mean, this is like what my friend had. This, not this one here. She had a whatchamacallit, a convertible, as we would call it. A convert. What do they call it here? Convertible. Maybe it was this one. Images. Yeah, really good. That's a good looking car. When was the last year? 2006? Maybe 2008 was the last year? That's 20 years ago. I was right. I don't even know how I'm right. Can you see what that looks like? That's the kind of car she had. She had one of those things. They were very sturdy cars. You could just feel it. You could feel it. You could feel that it was a sturdy car. Saab. Saab 900. That's a more recent thing. I mean, really, you feel bad for Sweden. It was such a great country, but they were a bit arrogant, I think. Maybe that's why they all collapsed. I met Carlson. They call it a convertible here, Lewis. Well, what do they call it in America? Ragtop? What do they call it in America? I met Carlson, the Saab rally driver, Paul says, in Trollhättan, period. A really lovely, modest, guy, fearless, period. They called him Carlson on the roof, after a children's book. Okay. Kermit says, not directly involved in the demolition. Dibna's techniques and methods influenced how Didcot cooling towers were brought down. Demolished in 2019, Dibna's legacy in demolition remains relevant. I bet it does. When did he die? He died about 20 years ago. He was famous. I remember thinking, who is this guy? But he was famous. He was like a northern guy. And you know what? The world is better with big towers and stuff. Big towers, big smokestacks. I had a black Saab, Love said, convertible with cream leather seats. It would be worth good money today if I had kept it. You want to know something? Everything could be worth good money today if you kept it. Everything. There's very few things that are worth a waste of time for saving something. People who save things turn out rich. Better for storing mattresses and the big TV, Lud. Yeah, you could. What are you saying? A black Saab convertible? Yeah, it's good to take stuff. I guess so. In Scotland, we call a convertible a drunken night out. A drunken night out. A Saab 900 convertible was the Seinfeld car in the series. Is that the car that he owns, that Seinfeld owned? Fred Dibna is at the end of my Bolton video. Okay. Okay, we should watch everybody. Let's watch Maltesers Phil's video. I would have been, Joodles, I would have put it in storage. Yeah, it would have been valuable. Yeah, the problem is how do you store stuff? What do you do with the stuff? What do I do with my stuff? You know what I mean? You need a rich person. You got to be rich to store stuff, and that's what rich people do. They hold on to every last thing that they have. Vatnai says, I've had a 900 and a 9,000. After General Motors took over, they went to shit. The best one was the 9,000 2.3 LPT Auto. As someone has previously mentioned, you could see off loads of other cars. Yeah, it was from what I know, I never owned it, but my friend owned it. Okay. Dibna now getting massive, over 1 million hits on some channels. Is that true? Seemed like a likable guy. A likable guy. Oh no, it's rubbish. Don't watch it. Don't watch your video. Is that what you're saying, Malteseville? Dibna is a bit higher than the chimneys he worked on now. Yeah, well, how do they tear down the big ones? How do they get someone to climb all the way up there and start knocking the thing down? My daughter's godfather had a black Saab 9. Weren't they only in black and green? That's how I see them, only in green. He looked after it like a pet. He was in love with it. Yeah, it's one of those cars people love. They love those cars. Yeah. Future me hates me, I reckon, Lud says. It never gives me good advice. Yeah. How do you know? Where can you save stuff? Where can you save stuff? How do you know? All the records that I used to have as a kid, I wish I still had. And I didn't even have that many. Hey, Lewis, Mock the Week returns on Sunday night. You would been boss on that show before it went woke. Well, it ain't woke now, right? Is it woke now, John Van Damme? So the answer is no. Lewis, watch Minder. Why Minder? Same this end. Past me was obviously an arsehole. Yes. Yeah. I'm I'm looking at myself, especially when I pay my taxes. I think, look at all the money. I didn't have that much money, but I wasted all of it, whatever it is. I didn't know I'd have to pay taxes. I didn't know I'd be fired. I didn't know people wouldn't like me. We're all like that. We are all like that, Lud. I'm a Saab enthusiast. The 900 period. The 900 Classic period. You can put a double mattress in the back. Period. Can we put some punctuation in, Paul? Period. You camped in the hatchback with a mattress topper down. Scandinavia, period. Scandinavia, period. Mine was scarab green color, period. Come on, I'm not going to read any of your posts anymore, Paul. I'm not going to. I wish I had all my records from my youth. Yes. Yeah, I mean, now records are amazing. I watched the record guy who does the Beatles records. Whatever it's called, Parlophone or Parlotone or Parla, whatever it is. I love two-seater cars, says Warmellian. Warmellian is here. Okay, in my car, except maybe okay. I love two-seater cars because I don't like people in my car, except maybe one attractive girl, period. Having a two-seater is a great way to get time to talk to a girl you like. Yeah. Yeah, two-seaters, yeah. Pretty sure I still have the Wombles album on vinyl somewhere. Where? You've got the Wombles album somewhere. Paulie, I hated that camping. I remember when I was a kid, and I would leave your stuff at your parents' house, and you think it's going to be there forever, and then one day your parents, oh my God, we're moving the house, we're selling the house. How could you sell the house? You've been here for 40 years, you can't sell the house. My brother used to have a 3-seater sports car by a French company called Matra. Typical French. Matra. Is that the name of the car? Miata? Could it be a Miata? Grammar fascism. My posts flow in one long sentence. I'm not going to read them, Paul. They don't flow. I need punctuation. Warmellians, UK video clips, speaking to Warmellians, saying, I had a 1999 MG soft top. That's another great car. Great car, but it rusted up big style. I could believe that, yeah. I never learned to drive or owned a car. I would be shit on a dating app. Yeah, Alan Williams, you never learned to drive. Yeah, no one would want to go out with you. When did announcing punctuation become a thing? Did Gen Zs teach him this while we weren't looking? No, because I used to be into punctuation and then I just let it go. And someone like Paul, there's no punctuation there. You need punctuation in a sentence. There's a reason for it. I replaced all my vinyl with CDs. Replaced my CDs with MP3s. Replaced my MP3s with Tidal. What is Tidal? I've replaced Tidal with vinyl again. It's like, I like the expense and the inconvenience, says Malteseville. That's funny. Yeah, it's like, why are they doing this to us? Why are we doing it to ourselves? That's very interesting, Malteseville. In the Saab, camping trip, we alternated staying in the Hilton. So it was not that bad. Yeah, it's a nice way to do it. One day camping and one day in a Hilton. Matra did the Rancho, the OG SUV, says Malteseville. Hey, we've been here an hour. Can you do me a favor? Can you like the stream? And can you subscribe? And can we also think about maybe contributing to the stream? Okay. Thank you very much for saying nice things. Let's go back up to here. Let's go back here. Everybody, let's see what we got. We got only 17 people liking the stream, now 18. Let's subscribe, everybody. Let's subscribe. I don't know whether this is right or wrong. Matra, I never heard of that brand, Matra. A few lovely women were happy to drive me around. Yeah. I mean, the problem is women need to be driven around. Women don't want to drive men around, I don't think. They want a strong man who's driving them around. We've been here an hour. Feels like a fortnight. Thank you, Jules. Make a little comment to say that you meant that as a joke to help my feelings. My last post didn't come up. Was it because I used the word? I don't know what it was. What was your last post? Post it again in a different way. I use punctuation as a consequence of being a Twitter user, period. Comma, where I use line breaks because it expands how few characters. You can't do line breaks here. Sorry, please don't make me chop liver. I love chop liver, but I'm not thinking of you as chop liver. I mean, I got mad at what's his name yesterday because he was speaking about something that I believe, and maybe I'm wrong, that I believe could have gotten us suspended or canceled or arrested or who knows what it is nowadays. So, maybe I was too strong yesterday because someone came up to me and said that word is not bad in this country. In America, it's a very bad concept. So maybe I got a bit upset. What the hell is chopped liver? Chopped liver is when you get treated like you're not noticeable. What am I, chopped liver? What am I, like some basic thing? What am I, not some great food? It's chopped liver is the same as pate, but not considered as fancy. It's like Jewish pate. Most of us thought you were wrong. Okay, well, I apologize. I'll apologize to Andrew Rubin if he comes back. I think advocating, I don't even want to spell it out. SCIV ILW space R is wrong. We smoke F's in this country. Also not permitted in America. Yeah, maybe that's right. Do people agree with Lud that I was wrong to do this? Lud's been speaking in tongues. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. It's like there are certain things you can and can't. It's my job to make sure to make sure that we have a safe place here. I'll try again. The 9,000 looked fairly dull. I loved lining it up next to the boy racer and leaving them for dead. I used to like cars like that. Like in America, they had the Chevelle SS. It was like a drag race car. It looked so dull, but it had like a huge engine in it. They would get away for the first second, and then the turbo would kick in, and whoosh. Vatanai says, "Yeah, I love cars like that. Sliced liver soaked in meat before frying is best. That's not what chopped liver is. Chopped liver is ground up liver with butter and onions. I don't know what else. I have made it myself. And you spread it on bread or however you eat it. It was delicious. Maybe it wasn't that delicious, but it was really good for you. He can't come back until 24 hours is up, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I'm feeling unsafe, Lewis. Yes, I'm feeling unsafe too. We live in a country that's a bit unsafe, and they're listening to every word. Who was the person on this chat who said we're listening to every word? And it's not my fault. You don't make the rules. Yes, I don't make the rules, and we have a growing police state that is censoring people. We have a growing police force that is censoring people. So it was the use of the word DED. Yeah, maybe we're not allowed to use that. They're reading this thing, and the thing about YouTube, it's not owned by the government, but it is the government. And when I say the government, it's not owned by the state, but it is the state. It is the leftist state. It's all those horrible people like Tom Hanks, like what's his name, like Tom Hanks, who are those people? Like Robert De Niro, like Jane Fonda. They're all controlling everything, Lewis. Okay. Chartel is saying to Lilith, sorry, Lilith. So the solution to being censored is to S up. Nice victory you've handed them. It's very hard for the state to allow people to promote SEDITITON, whatever it's called. It's very hard for them to do that. It's not like saying men or women. It's not like saying that. It's like saying, are you advocating WAR? G is saying to Stormer, steady with the authoritarianism, man, says Paul. Yes. So am I a coward? For myself, I am a coward, Joodles. You just got to get used to it. I know you think I've got to be a better person than I am, but I'm not. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. YouTube is left, period. I get blocked 24/7, period. Let's work on the punctuation, Lilith. Everybody punctuation. I once burned the engine out on a Rover Vanderpla. However that's spelled. 1.6 liter, I guess. What does the I stand for? Injection? I'm going to sit in the corner and think about what I've done. What have you done? Did you do something wrong? The UK's stormtroops watch what you say, or you will get 3 years for naughty words. Yes. So maybe I'm too cautious. I don't know what to be cautious about. We were demonetized, or I was demonetized very early on. Why? Why was I demonetized? I'm still a man racer. I don't have time for dawdling. Yeah. So while we're at it right now, let's all go to Ko-fi and maybe buy the chat a cup of coffee. How about that? Vandenplas, it's possibly called. I miss my Subaru Impreza. These are great cars. We can talk about this another time. We're running out of time here. Maybe go to PayPal or Patreon. You know, maybe go there. Vant and I do mechanics too, says Chartel. However, I'm not fully trained in diagnostics. I don't think anybody is nowadays. Anybody is. So Kermit is doing a great job, and he's saying, buy the stream of coffee. Click on that link. Or donate to Patreon, Lewis Schaffer. Or go to PayPal. That's the easiest one, I think. That's the easiest one. Basically. Or follow Lewis on X. Yes, I always forget that. There I am. Right there. Follow Lewis Schaffer on X. And maybe more, and go to that Discord. Are people still using the Discord thing? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Lilith is laughing at Joodles. What did Joodles say? Good idea, Lilith. But then Lewis bans us all. If I ask you to do something, you could stop and ask, why are you banning me? You don't go and do it again and again and again. It's like a child. You don't give a child three, I'm going to count to three. No, you say, don't run in the street. You could stop and say, Daddy, why shouldn't I run in the street? And then I will explain it to you. But I'm not being a bad guy. I think I'm being a good guy. Dr. Gordon is here. All we need to do now is aerodynamicist, and we'll have more talent than an F1 team. All we need is an aerodynamicist. Yeah. Well, people from back in the day, they knew their cars. Lilith is in Discord, and she enjoys it. So thank you very much, Lilith. Okay. That's what I'm saying, Joodles. If you think I'm making a mistake, you could say, I know you believe that, Lewis, but you don't need to be that upset about it. You don't need to be that worried about that. Okay? But I think I've been very open with my language, and you can be open with your language. But if I think that what you're saying could get you arrested, I'm going to say it. If I think it's going to get the channel blocked, I'm going to say it. My daughter, Emily, that's my sister's name, is a mechanic. But the male colleagues were often horrible to her and told her it wasn't a girl's job. I don't believe that, Vatanai, but let's say it's true. Male mechanics are known to be horrible to everybody, so whatever, get used to it. Catch you tomorrow. Thank you, Kate. So here's the deal. Anybody want to guess? I'm going to thank the people on the list. Anybody want to guess? The first person, come in there, get ready to write in what the largest concurrent viewers are. We've had a really great stream tonight. Alex was here, and Dr. Gordon is 30, and Stuart H. was here, and Nonstick Nick, and beautiful, beautiful girl from Mars, and Warmelian, and North from up north, and Julian, and Alan Williams. Thank you, thank you, thank you. London Man, thank you. MC Scott. There's Lilith, beautiful, beautiful Lilith. Ron Smith, thank you, Ron Smith. Vatanai, thank you, Vatanai. John Van Dam. Lud is at 16. Dolly Bannister from Laos, which is right next to Vietnam and Thailand, right between it. Marianne from America. I want to be in America with English ancestors. Joe, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Joe. And Ulrich is at 12. And Maltese Phil is at 11. And then here comes Darklands. Oh, look who won. Oh, my God, I was surprised. Darklands. And then Claire. Thank you, Claire, if you're still here. Thank you, Claire. Kate Gwynn. Beautiful, beautiful. These are all the beautiful girls. And then Chartel, beautiful, beautiful girls. Streaky Bacon, Mr. Cuff, Joodles. And there's Claire with no eye. She's number 3. Great practice there. And there's Hi-Ho Kermit at number 2. Number 2, considering he's like there helping all the time. And the winner today is Paul at number 1. At number 1. at number one. And let's see. Thank you very much for being number one. Let's see what the top number is. Okay, Nonstick Nick says 37, no. Paul Yoward says no. Chartel, 37, no. Streaky Bacon, 33. Mr. Cuff, 36, no. Dr. Gordon, no. Darklands, 35. And the winner is Darklands at 35. Congratulations, Darklands. You have won again. I think you've won in the past. MC Scott, 34. No, 34. Marianne, 38. No. You've got Irish ancestors. I don't know if that counts, but it does count. You say 38. No. So there you go. Darklands has won. We're going to see you tomorrow at about maybe 8 o'clock or 8:30 tomorrow. Can you hold on tight for tomorrow? Because I'm filming again. I've got another day of filming. I'm going to be rich. Thank you, everyone. If I haven't mentioned your name, just say, hey, what about mentioning my name? I think this was the best show we've ever done. The best show we have ever done. And I thank you. I thank you for that. Any other questions? If you want to talk to each other for 2 minutes, and then we will see you tomorrow. Go join Discord. Maybe Kermit could post a